Hi everyone, welcome back. In this session we are going to discuss about the basics of the networking related to the private IP, public IP and VNet and subnet concepts. Okay. So first thing is public IP. Public IP is nothing but like that IP address which is specified can be accessible outside your network. And similarly private IP, when a resource or a networking component is assigned to public IP, it will not be accessible outside like via internet, but however it will be accessible only to you, only to the network that is defined within your network. So when defining these IP ranges, there is something we need to clearly know some of the basic concepts. So how these IPs are defined, like public IPs. For example, here let's say take an example of an IP 10.1.1.0/16. So what are these each of these components? Okay, so each of these components and particular before this dot, right, everything is defined as an octet. And the first component we call as a network ID, which will uniquely identifies your network. And the second component we call as the host ID, which is specific to your network, like within a organization or an enterprise, that specifies what component or networking component or a firewall or a VPN or the virtual network gateway. And the last part of it is the masking, like here it is specified as 16. So basically how much of the bits are masked. So that's how we usually identify. So for example, in this 10.1.1.0/16, that means uh, how to derive this numbers within the this IP range. So for example, so basically if we take an example, um, so how do we calculate the IP ranges? So in this case, so 2 raised to 32, that means, see, totally we have like 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, which is 32, minus it is masking bits as specified as 32, that means 2 raised to 16 is equal to, we are left with 2 raised to 16, right, which is nothing but 2 raised to 2 with the scientific 2 raised to, oh, not this. So these many IPs will be able to use in this. Okay, so I'll just show a couple of examples here. So 10.1.1.0, 10.1.1.2. So similarly until 10.1.1.255, until here we will be able to take. And next one similarly 10.1.2.0, and it continues. Okay, so these are called nothing but the subnets, which will fall into the next IP range within the masked bit. So that means this is one subnet and this is another subnet. That's how we can identify here. Okay, so for example, how you can correlate is, let's say you have one I'll just show you with an example here. Subnet 1, subnet 2. Dot 0 slash, just giving with 24. There's another subnet which can be assigned. Okay, so here for example I need to just so that's how you define the subnets. Okay, yeah, that's it in this session. Thank you, and we'll catch up again in the next session.